The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race officially concluded from Rockingham Speedway, and we see some big wrecks, a couple red flags, some fantastic racing, and Tyler Ankrum winning on field mileage at Rockingham Speedway. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race from Rockingham Speedway, the Black Tire 200. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in today's race, Stuart Friesen would have to go to the rear because he had damage on the truck during qualifying. He would go to the rear of the field. So at the start of the race, he had Jake Garcia lead the field from the outside with Chandler Swift on the inside, and they would battle side by side for the first couple laps. Jake Garcia would have the advantage going into turn number 4, and Chandler Swift also got a great run, and they were battling side by side for the first couple laps. The first caution race come out lap number 2 when Connor Mosack got loose under Bailey Curry going into turn number 3. Connor just lost it going into corner. He would go up in a racetrack and get into Bailey Curry, and Bailey Curry would get a ton of damage on the truck, and Connor would get a little bit of damage as well. Just a big mistake there, just lost it in the corner. Just a tough break for both drivers who both qualified very well for this race. They would be in a little bit of trouble after that and would get damage. So then on the restart, you had Jake Garcia lead the field from the outside with Chandler Swift on the inside, and Jake Garcia got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, there was a lot of smoke coming out of Ben Rowe's truck, and he started dropping back very quickly. We thought maybe he was having a power steering fluid. Actually thought we maybe have his tire rub, but it turned out he was having power steering fluid that was leaking on the truck, and he started dropping back. And then meanwhile, as the run continued on, Jake Garcia continued dominating, but we saw some really good racing near the final laps of stage number 1 as Chandler Swift was really closing in on Jake Garcia through the traffic. And with around 15 laps to go in stage number 1, the great battle started happening. Chandler Swift and Jake Garcia put on a really fantastic and great show. And then Chandler Swift, when they were battling side by side for the next 2 laps, he got a little bit sideways and loose. This gave Lane Ray's the opportunity to go to the inside, and he would pass Chandler Swift and go up to second position. And then he would challenge up there and get to Jake Garcia with around 5 laps to go in the event and would get to the inside of him, but Jake Garcia was able to hold on. And then eventually, a couple laps later, Lane Ray's got a really great run on Jake Garcia and was able to take the race lead. And he started pulling away, and coming off the final corner, Lane Ray's will hold out the field and win stage number 1, picking up his first career Truck Series stage win in the Truck Series, followed by Jake Garcia, Caden Honeycutt, Chandler Smith, and Corey Hine. So then all lead lap trucks would then come down pit road, with Caden Honeycutt winning off the race off pit road because he decided to take 2 tires, followed by Grant Enfinger and Lane Riggs, who would drop to 3rd. Ben Rose and Dawson also would get penalties for being too fast on pit road. And then meanwhile, Matt Crafton would go to the garage because he had a dashboard fire on inside of his truck. He would get a lot of damage because of that, and the truck would catch fire. He would go to the garage. So then on the restart, Caden Honeycutt lead the field from the outside with Grant Enfinger on the inside, and Grant Enfinger got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And eventually, Lane Riggs, he got up to second position. Meanwhile, we started seeing a really good race between Grant Enfinger, Lane Riggs, and Caden Honeycutt, and they started moving their way toward the front, and they were putting on a really great show. A few laps later, lap number 70, Lane Riggs got a really good run on Grant Enfinger going into turn number 3 and would try to get the lead, but he would get loose, eventually go up to second, but Caden Honeycutt would make a fantastic move to the inside coming down the front straightaway, and he was able to take the race lead. But then Caden Honeycutt was starting to get behind traffic, and then Lane Riggs, eventually a few laps later, he got a really good run on Caden Honeycutt and was able to take the race lead. He would start pulling away and starting to get a pretty big lead and got out to near 2-second lead, and coming off the final corner, Lane Riggs would come off the corner and win stage number 2, followed by Caden Honeycutt, Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith, and Corey Hine. And then all lead lap trucks had then come down pit road, with Chandler Smith winning the race off pit road because he took 2 tires, and then followed by Roger Kurf and Parker Kligerman. Caden Honeycutt was the first driver off of pit road who took 4 tires, and Brandon Jones also got a penalty for having an uncontrolled tire. So then on the restart, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Roger Kurf on the inside, and they remained side by side for the next couple laps or so, but then the next lap or so, Roger Kurf got really sideways, and this would give Chandler Smith the opportunity, and he was able to clear the race lead. And then eventually Roger dropped back to second, and then Dale Hemmer got a great run up there and continued moving forward. Meanwhile, he had a really good battle going on between Connor Mosack, Luke Fenhouse, and Gio Ruggiero. There would be contact between all 3 drivers. They would get a little bit sideways, and there would be some contact between the 3, but luckily they were all able to continue on. Then the next big crash would take place a couple laps later on lap 109 when Ty Majeski spun after contact with Grant Enfinger while battling for 10th. Ty Majeski was on the inside of Grant Enfinger and went back in the outside wall really hard, unfortunately ending his day. Just a big mistake there by Ty Majeski being a little bit too aggressive. We knew his truck was really good from practice early today, but had not been a big factor throughout the event. But he just lost it under Grant. Just a big mistake right there. Because of that, he would basically go to the garage. Meanwhile, we saw a little bit of strategy where Parker Kligerman, Grant Enfinger, Andres Perez, Tanner Gray, Tyler Ankrum, Brandon Jones, Luke Fenhouse, and Sammy Smith would all come down pit road while the rest leaders would stay out. And then because of the damage on the side of the wall, NASCAR had to go ahead and red flag it for nearly 10 minutes because they had to repair the wall because there was part of Ty Majeski's truck that I think was inside of that wall. And because of that, we're starting to think, are we going to have issues with darkness? Because of the starting the race so late, there was a lot of questions about whether they were going to get the race in on time or not. And then on the next restart, after getting the red flag waved, you had Chandler Smith lead the field from the outside with Dale Hemrick on the inside, and Dale Hemrick got a fantastic run and got the lead for a second, but eventually Chandler Smith, he got a fantastic run and was able to clear for the race lead and eventually got the lead and started pulling away. Meanwhile, there was another big wreck that would take place coming down the front straightaway. Raj Kruf coming off of turn number 4 would get sideways battling in 8th position, would get sideways off the corner. Stuart Friesen checked up behind him, and then multiple trucks got collected, including Matt Mills and Tanner Gray, who got massive and a ton of damage. Just a mistake there by Roger Kruf, who just got sideways in the corner, and the people not checking up right behind him. Matt Mills, I think, was the one who ran into the back of him completely, and Tanner Gray had nowhere to go. Just a big crash right there. Again, a mistake there by Raja, but it really isn't all Raja's fault that people couldn't check up behind him. There's just nowhere to go for those guys. Just a massive deal. During this caution, we see a little strategy. Chandler Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Jake Garcia, Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt, Roger Kruf, Connor Mosek, and Parker Kligerman would be on the leaders that come down pit road, while the rest leaders would stay out. That means Corey Heim and Gio Ruggiero, for some reason, would decide to stay out to try to play the long game and try to basically see if there would be a lot of cautions and the race would end. Once again, NASCAR had to throw the red flag out to clean up the track after the big incident. There was more debris that was inside of the wall, but they got that done a lot quicker than the prior time. And then on the final restart, you had Corey Heim lead the field from the outside with Gio Ruggiero on the inside, and Corey Heim got a fantastic run and was able to clear for the race lead. So we knew at this point there was a lot of strategy going on. We knew that Corey Heim and Gio Ruggiero were not going to make it on field without cautions taking place. Meanwhile, you guys like Tyler Ankrum and Sammy Smith and Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs are playing the longer game and were trying to save field. And eventually Corey Heim really started pulling away, and he got a massive and a really big lead and nearly had a 9-second lead over the eventual leader of the race. It would be Tyler Ankrum. And he started getting a pretty big lead and almost had a 10-second lead over some of the guys battling for the win along with Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs. But eventually with 30 laps to go, Corey Heim, he would come down pit road when Gio Ruggiero would end up getting the race lead. And then next lap, Gio Ruggiero, he came down pit road and he was able to take the lead. So at this point, Tyler Ankrum would assume control of the race, and he started pulling away a little bit and was starting to save field as well. But then all of a sudden, with around 12 or 13 laps to go, more of the leaders would come down pit road. First, Andres Perez, he come down pit road. Then a few laps later, Sammy Smith would come down pit road as Ankrum was starting to pull really heavily away from Chandler Smith. And then eventually Lane Riggs, he would all of a sudden come down pit road with 5 to go, and you're thinking, can Tyler Ankrum make it? And then with 2 laps to go in the race, Chandler Smith would start puttering and would run out of gas coming to 2 laps to go in the event. And Tyler Ankrum started backing off quite a bit because he knew that he just needed to have a big enough lead and he would basically make it to the checker flag. Tyler Ankrum started pulling away and nearly had a 7.5 second lead over Jake Garcia as he came to the white flag. And we were wondering, can Tyler Ankrum make it to the checker flag? Is he going to have enough gas to get to the checker flag and pick up his first win? Well, Tyler Ankrum would have a pretty big lead, and coming out the final corner for the first time since Kentucky in 2019, for the first time in 130 races, Tyler Ankrum comes off the corner and picks up his first win in the Truck Series since 2019, his first win in McAnally-Hilgeman Racing, and his second career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win, and his first win of 2025. What a wild finish to this race, and what a crazy race. Tyler Ankrum was not a major factor in the early portion of the event, but he played strategy and got up front. And he did what he had to do. He qualified very well for this race, started up front, had good track position early, but faded back a little bit, but they played the strategy correctly. They had enough gas to get it done. And you think about this with Tyler Ankrum. Tyler Ankrum has been very, very strong in 2025. He's had a lot of really good pace and a lot of good speed. He's had a lot of top 5 finishes. I think he's got the most top 5s currently at the moment in the Craftsman Truck Series. But I didn't realize he'd been that good. He's had a lot of good finishes. He's been consistent. So I think it's a well-deserved win. Yes, it is a fuel mileage win for Ankrum, but I think he earned this one. He played the strategy correctly. I'm so happy to see him win. It's been a long time since Ankrum's gone to victory lane. Congratulations to him on picking up his first truck win in 6 years in his second career Truck Series win. A well-deserved win on fuel mileage. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the race results. I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. So Tyler Ankrum picks up the win. Jake Garcia finishes second. What a race for Jake Garcia. This is the best all-around race that I think Jake Garcia has put together. He started on the pole. He led the second most laps of anybody in the race today, and he just flat out had a really, really good truck. He had top 5 speed all day. I've been wondering when the speed was going to show up for him. He was the best 4-sport truck by a mile today. He had a truck capable of winning. I think a win could come before the end of the year. Today was a fantastic run for Jake. Showed a lot of great speed. He did a lot better than Haley Deegan did in this truck. Just a great job for Jake. Fantastic day for Jake in the second position. Dale Hemrick finished third. A quiet top 5 day. Struggled early in the event. Almost went a lap down in this race. But he kept it together and finished inside the top 5. Solid top 5 run. This 19 team's been having a little more speed in recent weeks. Good run for Hemrick. Raj Crew finished 4th. After nearly causing and actually kind of causing a big wreck, he played the strategy, was around the 10-15 place most of the day, but had enough gas to make it to the checker flag and put together a solid run. One of the better runs Raja has put together the last couple weeks for Raja have been pretty good. Of course, got a top 10 at Bristol, comes home in a top 5 today. Good run for Raja. He's starting to get that momentum again. Good run for Raja in 4th. Brandon Finger finished 5th. He was up front early in the race, faded back a little bit, but he does come home with a very solid top 5 run. Great run for Grant to finish inside the top 5. Good run for the 9 team. Has been up and down early in this season. Kane Honeycutt finished 6th. He had a top 5 truck most of the day. Tried to play the strategy, lost a ton of ground at the end of the event. I don't think he came down pit road, but he had a really good truck all day. I think a win is coming for Kane before the end of the year. Solid top 10 run. He finishes 6th. Jack Wood finished 7th. Solid day for Jack Wood. He legitimately ran top 15 a lot of this race. One of the best runs I think he's generally put together all season long. A good run for Jack, the best run he's had all year. He finished 7th. Corey Heim finishes 8th. A really solid day for Corey Heim. He led the most slats of anybody in the field. Unfortunately, Corey just got bit by the strategy. He struggled early in the race, but they made that truck better. He does come home with a top 10. Had it not been for field strategy, I think he would have won this race. He had a good enough truck to definitely get it done. It still today was a good run, not a great run for Corey, but still gets a top 10 in 8th. Connor Mosak finished 9th. After causing crash on the first lap, recovers to get a top 10. Solid day for Connor. I think that's his first top 10 of the season, so not a bad day for Connor Mosak. And Gio Ruggiero finishes 10th. He continues to impress me. He's at top 5 and top 10 speed a lot of races this year. Today he had a top 5 truck, ran around 5th to 6th most of the day, and comes home with a very solid top 10 run. He's been the best rookie by a mile this year. Great run for him in 10th. Lane Riggs finished 11th. I think Lane Riggs had the best truck in the field. His truck was really good, especially on the long run, but unfortunately, he got stuck in dirty air and got stuck in traffic in this race, and that cost him a shot to go to victory lane. But still today was one of the best runs Lane has put together. I think he got the second most points of anybody in the field, so a fantastic day for Lane, who's going to be in a good position in the points. He's been really strong this year. He's my pick coming in the weekend. He had a good run. He finished 11th, but it could have been better. Andres Press finished 12th. He ran top 10 near the end of the event. Had a good run going. He does get a top 15, so decent day, all things considered. He does get some decent points today as well in 12th. Chandler Smith finished 13th. He had a top 5 truck, but ran out of gas at the end of the event. He had one of the best trucks in the field. Put together a good performance until he ran out of gas, but a top 15 day is not a bad day. It's actually his first finish outside of the top 10. He's been one of the most consistent drivers all season long. He had a really good run going, just ran out of gas at the end. He finished 13th. Nathan Bird finished 14th. Solid day for Nathan Bird. Survived some of the big wrecks and big carnage that happened in this event and gets his best career truck series finish in 14th. Solid day for the driver for Youngs. I wasn't sure how he was going to do, but today was a good run for him. Spencer Boyd finished 15th. Decent day for Spencer. Got himself a top 15 finish. I think that's his first top 15 finish or second of the season. So a decent day for Spencer Bird. Sammy Smith finished 16th, but thought Sammy would be a little bit better today. Just never was a factor in this race, sadly. He finished 16th in the back of the pack. Brandon Jones finished 17th. Same thing. Brandon Jones had about a 15-place truck at best, and that's it. I thought Brandon Jones would be much more a factor today. Just never had the pace and speed. He finished 17th. Tony Breidinger finished 18th. Hayden Banner, she got a top 20 for the first time this year. It's been a really bad season for Tony, so good to see her get a top 20. She probably should have gotten a top 20 at Bristol, but got caught up in an incident with Stuart Friesen. Her best run of the year, she still finished like 5 or 6 laps down, but I think she'll take finishing in 18th. Dawson Sutton finishes 19th. Bailey Curry, after having a good qualifying run, he finished 20th. Timmy Hill finished 21st. Corey Day finished 22nd. He had tire issues throughout the day, spent on pit road as well. He still got a lot of work to do, but he did qualify decent, was moving through the field. But the tire issues cost him a shot at a great performance. Because of that, he finished like 10 laps down in 22nd. Frankie Muniz finished 23rd. He stayed on the track, got some experience after going to the garage multiple times, but he does get a top 25 in 23rd. His best finish, I think, outside of Daytona earlier this year. Matt Crathton finished 24th. Park Clearman fell out of the race at the end of the event. He finished 25th. Luke Fenhaus finished 26th. He was in the top 10 early, but he had a lot of damage early in the event and fell out of the race near the end of the event. Cody Dennison, a.k.a. Camelot, finished 27th. Tanner Gray, after crashing out, finished 28th. Stuart Friesen finished 29th. Matt Mills finished 30th. Ty Majeski finished 31st. Ben Rose finished 32nd. C. Malazzi finished 33rd. Justin Carroll finished 34th. And finishing last in 35th place is Norm Benning. So now, we're going to talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. I really enjoyed this race from start to finish. The racing at this track, we knew it was going to be very hard and very difficult to pass. But even though it was very difficult to pass, the racing was still really awesome. The final 15 laps of Stage 1 were some of the best racing I've seen this year in all 3 series. You had guys making moves inside, outside, trying to get by Jake Garcia, but Jake was doing a really good job holding on. Then throughout Stage 2 and Stage number 3, there continued to be some really fantastic and great racing throughout the field. Of course, at times it got a little bit lull, and there were some lull moments for sure in this race, but I think that there was a lot of great moments in the race too. I think that this track deserved to be back on the schedule. I can't believe we left this track in 2004 for Cup. I can't believe we left this track after 2013 when Kyle Larson beat Logano and Casey Kane won the race in 2012, who's racing the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. I think today's race was really entertaining, and he had a great fuel mileage finish at the end of the day. This is probably one of my favorite truck races of the year. I'm glad we came back to this track because today the racing was really good. My score of today's race is going to be a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this race from start to finish. It was fantastic. The racing was good. The cautions did hurt the score a little bit. Some of the big wrecks and some of the red flags hurt the score for me a little bit, but today's race is really good. Glad to see a good race after the disastrous race we had at Bristol. It was a fun event. My score is a 9 out of 10. Actually, 9.2 out of 10 because I thought the racing today was really, really good. So, that is going to be for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race review from Rockingham. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Tyler Ankrum on picking up the win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to be doing reactions to NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying from Rockingham, and then a couple hours after that, we're going to have reactions to the race from Rockingham as well. Then tomorrow, and then on Sunday, we're going to have the 2026 NASCAR Silly Season predictions, which is Easter on Sunday, so wishing you guys a happy early Easter. And the Monday, we'll have a NASCAR news video more than likely dropping on the channel. We got some Casey Kane stuff to talk about, Venturini Motorsports stuff, some rumors about Dodge and maybe Trackhouse Racing getting affiliated with that. We also got content coming out, people like Haley Ding and Shane Van Gisbergen and Carl Hurts, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Dodge, Cletus McFarland, Matt Benedetto, Frankie Muniz, you name it. Eric Almirola as well. We got all that coming out. Same with Connor Zillich and Junior Motorsports. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.